Hello and welcome, friends. My name is Ravindran. I'm basically based out of Chennai, but I'm into something which is global now. Friends, my background actually was a corporate career. I worked for over 2 decades with a multinational, and then I went on to try a few other verticals like stock market and then telecommunications, and then, of course, the last that I was into real estate. But friends, I'm sure all of you must have been hearing a couple of words very recently and very frequently, and that is something called a blockchain technology and probably something called cryptocurrency. So, friends, we all know that we are in the world of internet, right? Probably a few years back, when computers came into this world, nobody ever thought that that will rule the world as such, right? There was also a time when even an STD or a PCO booth was a family's income, right? So that was momentum time. But slowly but surely, we realized that internet was taking over the world. Now, internet is something that is there everywhere, anywhere, everywhere, with anybody, right? So when this really happened, I felt that I should be into something which has got to do with internet, number one. And number two is the blockchain technology is again taking over the world by storm. Blockchain technology is something which is basically for security, that all of us know. So, friends, what I'm going to really touch upon is just about 3 or 4 points in a very brief manner, because each of these points, if needed, can be talked for a half a day, right? So, the 4 points that I will be touching upon is one, a blockchain technology. The second one is something called smart contract, which is absolutely a phenomenon now. And of course, a decentralized product, right? And finally, cryptocurrency. So, basically, we'll just talk about 4 of these points in a nutshell. As I said, blockchain technology is nothing but a digital ledger of transactions which nobody can hack, nobody can cheat, and nobody can intervene. Now, if you look at the world over, in fact, our Indian government themselves in many spheres, be it the IT department or into the government sectors, everywhere you find that blockchain technology is taking over purely for the reason of security. Number two is what we call as the smart contract. A smart contract is something which is again a secured system, but without a third party influence. Now you look at this. I'm into real estate. I was into real estate, I should say, because now I'm doing this full time. In a real estate transaction, there is a buyer and there is a seller. And once they sign an agreement, which we call as the sale agreement, there is also a third party involved, what we call as the registrar office, or maybe a mediator, or whoever it is. Without that, the transaction doesn't happen, right? Now, in this case, what we are having is just two parties and a smart contract which is signed and sealed. Nobody can actually even change that concept, right? So once that is signed and sealed, even the person who has developed that contract cannot do anything about it. So we are on a very, very fantastic program where once you see a program, that can never change at all. So that's a fantastic reason why I wanted to take this up. Then we are talking about something called a decentralized format. We know what is centralized, we know what is decentralized. Centralized is nothing but there is a boss, there is a company, there is an organization, right? Wherever there are such things in life, we find there is a tendency of manipulation happening. We have heard that people have hacked their bank account, somebody's hacked their GPay account, my mail is being hacked, and so on and so forth. And likewise, you also see that all these things, has got its own limitations. Unless there is a bank or unless there is a financial organization in between, transactions cannot happen there, right? So that's because it is a centralized format. Now, in a blockchain technology with a smart contract, a decentralized format means this transaction happens automatically, just like that, right? So that is what we talk about, a decentralized format. And then finally, we talk about cryptocurrency. My friends, 1 year ago, I didn't even know what was cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency was something which is black and white for me, right? So at that time, we just heard what is cryptocurrency. Now people have started to talk about this. Cryptocurrency is a term which 1 year ago, I was not even having an faintest of ideas. Cryptocurrency again is a digital currency which has no form or shape. And this actually was developed by a gentleman, it seems, by name Satoshi Nakamoto in the year 2008. And all of you, when you say cryptocurrency, the first thing that comes in our mind is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, my friends, was started or developed in 2008 by this gentleman. And at that time, he had no bias. His only objective was to make sure that the world has one currency with one value, right? So, for example, if I were to give 1 rupee, I will not get a 1 US dollar, right? If I give 1 Indian rupee, I will not get a dinar or a dirham or a dollar of a Singapore dollar, right? So, what this person wanted was to have a universal currency wherein he developed something called a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a coin. It's not a shape of a note. It's a digital currency which he felt he will develop as one single currency for the world, and that is what happened in the form of cryptocurrency. Now, if you look at the blockchain technology which I was talking about, right, there is something which they started to look at using this in the IT sector of Tamil Nadu. Probably this was the first state which actually started this, I would say. And Tamil Nadu actually started this for the IT department. There was a geo formed, and we realized that the information technology department is now more or less moving into blockchain technology in Tamil Nadu. Now, if you look at our neighboring state, Kerala, Kerala has gone one step further in bringing something called a blockchain academy. A blockchain academy wherein you can go do a certification course, and once you graduate from there, the world is waiting for blockchain graduates. Like how they had earlier, like a computer institute graduate, right, where people were getting jobs easily. You will find very shortly that once you graduate from any organization, I'm sure there are many more in India, once you finish out of that, this will be something which is very much accepted. Now, as I said, Bitcoin started in 2008, but over a period of time, what happened was Bitcoin, which started at just 40 paise, 40 naya paise, Indian naya paise, it went up to probably 50 lakhs Indian rupees in the last year. It was huge. The kind of growth that it had was huge. So you found that there were a lot of other currencies which started off, and this started to have a big impact across the world. Every coin or every currency that came had some unique value for it, and that's how they started to do that. So much so, now you realize that Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies are being accepted worldwide, right? So that is what we are seeing now. And to simply put as to how money actually evolved, we all know, all of us know that our great grandfathers had something called a barter system. And then there was basically an exchange of milk and sugar and cattle and clothes and all that. But over a period of time, logistically, it was not possible. That's when they started to move towards gold, and then came money, coins, the rupee notes started to come in. Then slowly there was also the debit and credit cards. And after that, of course, they started to bring in the Google Pay and GPay, which you have been seeing. And now, literally, cryptocurrency is taking over the world. Literally taking over the world, right? Now, the question is, all of us know that cryptocurrency is giving us a lot of, income. Now, how do I earn income? There are primarily 3 reasons that I can think of. Number 1 is that you can trade. Just like a stock market trade, you can always go and do your trading where you buy and sell cryptos. That you can do, number 1. Number 2 is you can do something called mining. Mining means you can produce your own currencies. But for that, you need a lot of money, a lot of electricity, a lot of infrastructure, and that I'm sure not many have, right? And then the third and the most magical thing that you can think of is a smart contract based business. A blockchain technology in a smart contract in a decentralized format with a cryptocurrency as a currency is by far the best combination. And that is exactly what I'm going to talk to you about in the next 5 to 7 minutes, my friends. Friends, in the month of February 2020, there was this program called FOSAJ, which actually evolved. And it literally took the world by storm. FOSAJ actually started with whatever I said, a smart contract based program with cryptocurrency as the base. And it was a decentralized format in the blockchain technology. They started with something called Ethereum as a coin. They moved on to something called Tron, and then they moved on to something called BUSD, which is a stable currency. And why did they do that? Ethereum and Tron are volatile coins. right? So the price fluctuations were very high. So they moved to something called BUSD, which was very stable, was doing excellently well. And of course, then they realized that they should do something better. And that's when this little baby called FORCE was actually launched. FORCE, my friends, has been launched very recently, and it is absolutely going to be a great winner across the world, I'm sure. So what is FORCE? FORCE is something where we do business with two very, very stable currencies. One stable currency and one for the transaction fee, which is a very popular currency called Polygon Matic. Polygon Matic is used for the transaction, and the business end is actually by this currency called DAI, right? So when we go forward into FORCE, it's a very simple thing. You want money, right? People want money. And this is done in a most efficient manner, in a very systematic manner. There is no typical kind of, getting in people and trying to be in that rat race where companies start to get involved. And there is so many things that we are hearing outside, right? But my friends, here, a smart contract has been written for FORCE. A business plan has been designed, and that cannot change at all. Now, if you look at the screen here, you have 12 boxes, and each box has got a few circles. And these circles are called placement circles. You can invite your friends into those circles, and then business really starts to happen. The first row, for example, on the left side, you will find that they are all with 6 circles. The second row has also got 6 circles, and the final one has got 3 circles. Very simple, just to get into your head. All the ones which are with 6 circles are called S6, and all the ones which are with 3 circles are called S3. Now, if you can understand what is S6 and what is S3, I think your game is over. Now, the 12 boxes, I've already told you that the first line is S6, second is S6, and the last one is S3, right? Now, if you notice, each of these boxes have got a value. The first box, for example, starts with $10. The second one is $20. The third is 40, 80, 160, 320. Can you see a pattern, my friends? Every slot doubles from the previous slot. This is how it has been designed. Now, all these slots of S6 work the same way. No change. It works the same way. All the slots of S3 works the same way. No change. Now, if you can understand how S6 works and how S3 works, the business is done. You don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to show you on this slide. You will find how does S6 work and how does S3 work. I'm just giving you an example, my friend. Let's say you invested $100 for this business, right? You invested $100 for this business in the S6 slot. And you invited 2 of your good friends. Mr. A and Mr. B have come into your business, and they have also invested the same $100. Now, what happens here is, because your friend has introduced you into this business, and you in turn have introduced 2 people, it's like a Thanksgiving that you're giving your friend by giving the $200 what you have as A and B's investment to him, which means the first 2 payments will go to your friend. And you find 2 are over. The balance is 4, right? Out of the 4, your C, D, and E is for you, which means you invest $100, but you get back $300, my friends. 300% is the investment returns, investment versus return that you get. I don't think there is any business that can give you this kind of returns, right? I've been to also similar programs in the past, but nowhere have seen that I invest $100, introduced 2 friends, and then when they duplicate, I make 300%. It's never happened before. The last slot, which is the 6th slot, goes into something called recycling. That is when somebody is getting placed there, that $100 again goes to my upline or my senior partner. Now, why do I say this? Because all you need to know is not too much of technical stuff. I invest 100, I get 300% in an S6. Now, if it is a $10 S6 slots, you get $30. If it is a $100 S6 slot, you get $300, and likewise. S3 is a little different. S3 works in a different manner, in the sense, out of the 3 slots that are available, the first 2 slots of $100 comes to you directly. And the third one, just like what happened in S6, gets recycled and it goes up. Now, the good news for you friends is with one $100 investment, we call it a completion of one cycle when 6 is over in S6 and 3 is over in S3. When you complete that S6, it's called one cycle. When you complete that 3, it's again called one cycle. Now, the good news for you, my friends, is you invest only one time for one box, but you can do any number of cycles. You can complete any number of cycles. That means in one cycle, if you're getting 300%, imagine if you're going to do 5 cycles, 10 cycles, 100 cycles. So that is the kind of income opportunity that you have here. Huge, right? Now, the better part is this particular business has also come with something called an auto upgrade, right? Now, what does auto upgrade mean? Auto upgrade means, for example, in S6, what it does is when I invest $100 and bring in 2 people and they in turn duplicate, what happens is the first payment is given to me. You're entitled for 3 payments, mind you. But the first payment is given to me, and what happens is the second and the third payment goes into the purchase of the next slot. Automatically, this purchase happens without your knowledge, which is to me a very good thing, because once you buy a slot without you paying money out of your pocket, anybody would be happy, right? Similarly, in the S3 slot, what happens is the first 2 payments is used up to buy the next slot, and the business happens after that very normally. Only for the first cycle period. After that, from the second cycle onwards, you get completely 3 payments on every cycle for you. So S6 and S3 has got upgradations, which to me is a fantastic, option. Now, I'm giving you a scenario where this gentleman in this particular box has bought 5 slots. 5 slots, right? Now, S6 of the first slot, there will be no deduction because he has already bought the second slot. Similarly, when the S3 happens there in the third slot, he will not have any deduction in the second because that has also been bought. So subsequently, what is happening is there will be no deduction in the first, second, third and the fourth slot, whereas in the fifth slot alone, the 2 payments are deducted and the 6th slot will be purchased. How good is that? Friends, this is something which is happening magical. The kind of returns that you can get is phenomenal. So this is something which has just started very, very recently and is literally taking the world by storm. Here we have a great organization, a great kind of a team support that is happening around, and I'm literally enjoying every single moment of this particular program, my friends. I'm sure whoever has been sending you this link or whoever is told you to watch this video has got much more information. Right now, Force, as I said, is coming with a lot of inventions in terms of programs. The first program is what I have detailed to you, which is called Classic. Very soon we will have something called Boost. This is going to have NFT, which is going to have Metaverse, and above all, Force is going to come with their own coins also. That is going to be a cryptocurrency. You never know, that can be the next Bitcoin, my friends. So all I can say is Force is something which is really going to be a big force in your life. My friends, it's literally changing people's life, is what you would have heard many people saying. But I can tell you my personal experience, my short experience, it's literally changing my financial planning totally, right? So there are a lot of good friends who will explain more about this. And I'm really, really happy that you gave me a patient listening. I hope you like the presentation, and I look forward to seeing you sometime very soon in my next video. Thank you so much.